Hello. Greetings from Boston, where I have had the opportunity to watch world-class figure skating. And this is actually my first live stream on this channel, but I've done plenty of live streams on my main channel, which is AA Legal Focus. So I'm not sure if anyone's actually going to watch this because the skating channel doesn't have anywhere near as many subscribers. But I'm very excited because earlier today, I did get to go to a special skating clinic at the Sterity Memorial Rink. This was, they sold it as some sort of like Asian American Pacific Islander celebration. And it was in conjunction with the National Association of Asian American Professionals Boston chapter, as well as US figure skating. But in a way, doesn't it seem kind of weird? Like, why did it need to have a AAPI focused skating clinic? I mean, clearly there are plenty of people of all races who came to the clinic today. And I think in this board, there's actually sort of an overrepresentation of Asian Americans in particular. So, but I was happy that they did have some sort of special event. So I went on down there, brought my old cling files all the way here from North Carolina. And I say they're old because I had them made back in 2011, roughly when CleanPile was going out of business. So I kind of freaked out back then and went ahead and got custom made skates made, even though I didn't need them. And they've been sitting around all these years because here's the thing. One thing that probably led to the company going out of business is that their quality was so good. So my old skates lasted for years and years, like 20 plus years. Also, I don't skate that frequently, so they didn't really break down. But it wasn't until recently that I started wearing these newer skates from 2011-ish, and they're very stiff and uncomfortable. So anyway, I'm kind of babbling here. What I do want to show are a couple of nice videos that I did take with my handy cell phone earlier today. And this will be nice so people can visually see what was going on. Okay. So that's just a short video right when we walked in. It was kind of interesting because straight from the street, you opened a door and there's this little, it's not even a lobby, it's like a little walking place where, bam, there's the rink. So it's kind of an interesting setup there because these days, for most modern rinks, you expect to walk into some sort of big, expansive lobby type of place with a receptionist and stuff. But this is clearly an older rink where there's not much space. So we walked right in. There's this table with a bunch of goodie bags. And let me go get the goodie bag here so I can show you. This is very nice. One of the sponsors of the event was also some sort of new Asian American group called Gold House. And I know they had some sort of award ceremony not too long ago where people like Vincent Zoe, Nathan Chen were honored at the program. So in this goodie bag, we managed to get like this Chinese gold or red envelope. They call it a hongbao. Usually you get cash in it, but inside they had a bunch of delicious candies. So 3 different types of candy. There was a haichu, there was something from Blocky. I had never heard of that type of candy before, and something else, but my son ate it. And they also had a sticker as well as this random piece of paper telling you about the NAP, Asian American Organization. Yeah, I was actually president many years ago, like 23 years ago, for NAP North Carolina. So I felt a little bit obligated to go over and say hi to the people working there, but it was just like so crowded, tons of people. I have to also watch out for my son. So unfortunately, I didn't have time to go over there and, just greet the young people sitting there behind that Boston table. Then they gave us this random piece of origami paper in case you feel like folding a crane or something. I don't think I can do anything besides make a t-shirt shape. And then some like knickknacks here. This was totally random. Do I need this? It's like a slinky, mini slinky. Yeah, I don't know what to do with this. Maybe I'll leave it behind because I really, as I get older, I don't want to get more knickknacks and stuff. This is nice. This is a Skating Club of Boston, Skating Academy pencil. Okay, so I'm going to keep this. Then they included this flyer about group skating lessons. So that's interesting because I think pretty much everyone there was not local, but still a nice touch. Something about a skating academy coupon for Norwood residents. Okay, so I don't need that. Need to recycle that. What else is there? Oh, they gave us this piece of paper for autographs. And so that's a sad thing is that there was a huge, huge line for autographs if you wanted to get an autograph with Christy Yamaguchi, Nathan Chen, or the Shipsibs. So that was just too bad that we stood in line forever. Then my cousin showed up, so I couldn't just tell her and her family to wait. So we just left the line and left without getting an autograph. But luckily, I did get a picture of myself with Danny O'Shea. So it's the highlight of the clinic. I was so happy that he just happened to be a few feet away. People were trying to take pictures with him, and he just was so polite and he was happy to oblige for a picture. So here's another pencil I got. Skating Club of Boston. Love you guys. Sending home thoughts and prayers to those people who lost their friends and loved ones in the plane crash. Okay. Then they gave us this Jackson. Is it from the Figure Skating Company? Yeah, Figure Skating Company lip balm. That's useful. Thank you. Thank you, Jackson. So I went to the Jackson. I don't know. It's a display that they had inside the arena yesterday. And I was kind of hoping to be able to buy figure skates there, but they just told me to go back to my regular skate shop and order from there. So, but the guy was nice though. Okay, voice problems as usual. The air here is so dry. They also gave us, what is this? Another skating academy flyer with info about the skate classes. It looks like a luggage, but this is cute. It has this little plastic bear. It says learn to skate. Okay, great. Thank you guys. I love these. Some of these things are useful and cute and stuff. I think, what else did they give us? Oh, this is cute too. Just even some pretty tissue paper with glitter on it. Make you feel like you're being treated like a VIP. And the clinic actually wasn't that expensive. I was surprised that it was like $35 per person. Or was it 30, something like that. So it wasn't that expensive. But I'll tell you more about the actual experience soon. Okay, what's this? Home ice skate fittings and sharpenings. Okay, so I don't need that because I don't live there, but it's good advertising. Guess I'll recycle that. And get a load of this. This is so hilarious. I just saw this. There's a Nathan Chen skating sticker. Oh my gosh, look at that. Oh, so the whole thing, it was just kind of a madhouse. I had seen from an email that they said the whole event was totally booked. So they said everybody be on time, don't bring your big bags or big suitcases, and don't bring other people who are not registered. But when I got there, I was like so surprised because there were hundreds and hundreds of people all jam packed in this small rink, all like, you know, to the side of the barriers and stuff. And they were having some there was like some MC who was talking and stuff, but the whole audio setup was terrible. So you couldn't even really hear what the people were saying. So that was very frustrating. Um, I could barely find a place to sit down and change into my skates. And um, so then I thought they were going to do speeches and stuff, but instead they just had these local competitive skaters or some skaters who are at the national level but didn't make it to worlds. They were skating, doing demonstrations, sort of. While this guy, who I think is with On Ice Perspective, was recording them, following them around. So that was kind of cool. So let me play this. I will show this to you. Hey, Dawn, thank you so much for being there. I can't believe someone's actually watching this live because this is my pretty small new skating channel. Thank you so much, Dawn. Dawn is one of my friends through the Dan Markel murder saga. That's a case that I've been covering a lot on the other YouTube channel I have, which is a Legal Focus. Okay, so I'll just play this. Hopefully I don't get any copyright strikes. I don't think there's music in this. Okay, how exciting. If we can don't hear anything, but yeah, like I said, the whole audio setup is really hear what people are saying. Well, let me know if you know who that guy is. I feel like I should know who that skater is, but I don't know his name. But he looked like a really good national level skater. Could have been maybe a pairs skater or something. Yeah. Oh, thank you, Dawn. It's nice to see you. Thank you for being out there. It is kind of weird talking to myself on a live stream. Okay, so these are the Team USA skaters who sort of took part in this clinic, and so they were told to just kind of skate around and do a little bit of demonstrating.
But first, I think we're going to be able to hear from some very popular folks in our skating community. So hang tight. Remember, there is coffee and snacks in our hospitality areas directly across the arena from me. I think we all know now that there's some autograph skate sign. The line is still quite long. And we got a photo booth in the back area as well. There is henna in the corner, I believe. Fun stuff all around. Let's make sure to explore the space.
Okay, thanks. Thanks, Dawn. Okay, so I was just using my cell phone. As you can tell, it's not professional quality type of thing. And so I do feel like it could have been organized better because from what they had emailed us or told us first, let me get some water here. My voice is just constantly dry and terrible and stuff. But yeah, so I was expecting there to be a bunch of speeches, Chrissy Hamaguchi, the head of the ISU, who is from Korea, Nathan Chen, Vincent Zhou, the Shibutanis, because that's the way they sold it. But instead, they didn't have any of those speeches until later. So they had these, competitive skaters just get out there and do some moves a little bit here and there. So that was kind of exciting. And then they told people to split up based on your ability. So they just said the total beginners should be on one side, and then moving on up to the people who could do jumps and spins get to the opposite side. So I fell in the latter category, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is so weird, because I was surrounded by these kids that looked like they were more like age 8 to 11 or something. But then I did see one woman who looked older than me. Then I saw maybe a few sort of like younger teens and stuff. And it just kept getting more and more crowded. I'm like, how are we supposed to have a skating clinic? They totally overbooked this whole event. So that was my gripe about it. Like, I don't think it was really much of a skating clinic because they should have limited the number of participants to about half or a third. Um, there were so many people just jammed onto the ice. And I heard this little, I don't know, Chinese or something, little Asian boy who looked like he was a real competitor. He was serious. He had this like, I think it was like a US figure skating jacket on. And he was like telling his friends, he was like, there's not even any room to do anything. I can't do anything. And I was like, yeah, tell me about it. Because I think at most I practiced a sorry scratch spin and these skates that don't fit right. And I tried to practice like a attitude spin, but you have to be careful because with so many people around, it's so easy to accidentally hit your toe pick into somebody. So most of the time I was just like kind of shuffling around and standing there because nothing was happening. It was just a madhouse where you have tons of these competitive looking kids milling around. Some of them were doing some spins, but it wasn't for, I don't know, at least 5 to 10 minutes before someone who appeared to be an instructor finally came towards us and was waving at us and stuff and told us to move to the side of the rink against the walls. So all he did, I mean, I can't complain too much. I mean, what is he supposed to do with a ragtag bunch of skaters that he doesn't know? He doesn't know what our abilities are. So he just had us go across the short length of the rink and just kind of, stick your foot out and, switch from foot to foot, practicing your edges and he did divide us up into 4 smaller groups. So group 1 had to do it first, group 2, group 3, group 4. Then the next thing was sort of similar, where again, you're just alternating your feet, skating forward on your inside edge. Oh, and before that, he did ask us, how many edges do you have? And what are they called, inside and outside? So, and even before that, they had some woman on the microphone telling people, how to make sure your skates fit right and make sure your skates are snug. I was like, this clinic is not really for people who have never skated before. I have a feeling most of the people who would pay and actually come out to Worlds and do this kind of clinic, really have our own figure skates, taking lessons and stuff. So anyway, so this wasn't like a real clinic. I'm sure when Nathan Chen and Jean-Luc Baker do their clinics and stuff, it's definitely better, what do you call it, better organized and more focused and tailored toward the different abilities. So it was just, how many times do I have to say it? But it's just way too crowded. So the next thing was that they're so disorganized that suddenly, right after our sort of lesson started, then they're like, oh, everybody go over here. We're going to start the speeches. So the instructor, and I'm sorry I forget his name, I'm sure he's like a semi-famous competitive skater. So he was like, oh, go over there and we're going to take a break now while we listen to these speeches. So they totally did things out of order because they were supposed to have the speeches or whatever before the clinic started. So we all just kind of packed towards the middle of the rink, and the head of the ISU, I'm sorry, I don't remember his name, but he's Korean. And he just was like, mumbling into the microphone, and you could not hear a thing he was saying. I was standing maybe about 10 feet from these important people who are speaking, but I could barely hear what they were saying. And certainly when the president of the ISU was talking, I couldn't figure out what he was saying. So it's kind of like, oh, we're cheering, we're all happy to be here. So then they also had, let's see, the Shibutanis were called up to say hi. And most of the time I saw the back of Nathan Chen and Alex Shibutani's backs. So they had their backs to me, and I was like so close. But it was kind of exciting because I think the last time I was that close to Alex Shibutani was probably 20 plus years ago when I saw him at Nationals. And he was just like a little kid, maybe, I don't know, 10 years old or something. And he had glasses on back then. He was running around shadowing the US figure skating media person, I think. Yeah, so it was exciting after all these years to see how accomplished the Shibutanis have become, as well as Nathan Chen. With Nathan, at first, I wasn't even sure if it were really him, because just seeing him from the back, he was just sitting there so casually, like some regular guy with this kind of pale mint green, slightly puffy casual jacket on. He was wearing very light blue colored blue jeans. And something interesting I noticed was that he was wearing these Nike sneakers where one side had a pink swoosh and the other side of his other sneaker had a light blue swoosh. So I was like, those are interesting looking shoes, but I guess that's what young people want to wear these days. Yeah, I don't know style these days. So there's nothing really earth shattering because each famous skater that got called up there, like the Shibutanis, Nathan, they also had Alyssa Liu get up there and say some words, and Christy, they, were saying the same thing, like they're so happy to be there. They're inspired to see all these people here. Thank you all. Nothing really in depth. I think the lady who was in charge of running the show, she did ask Alyssa how she was feeling, and Alyssa Liu said that something like it hadn't sunk into her yet, and she was still kind of in shock after winning the World Figure Skating Championships last night. And that was just such an amazing competition. So congratulations to Alyssa. But I'll talk more about the actual Worlds experience with a fellow figure skating fanatic. His channel is called Kelly Commentates, Kelly with a Kelly. So we're planning on doing our first joint live stream recapping Worlds next Saturday. I think it's around 5 p.m., but I'll have to confirm that and set up a StreamYard and stuff. But it was really cool to meet him. Kelly is his YouTube name, and he's like from a very far-flung state. I had never even met him before, but thanks to YouTube, I saw his channel, commented on it, and he said he loves my main channel, which is the AA Legal Focus channel. So we made plans to meet up at Worlds, and finally got to talk to each other in person yesterday. So that's a different show when we're going to talk about our Worlds recap. Okay, so this is another video from today's skating clinic. I feel like I can't keep talking anymore. It's part of aging or something. Okay, so let's see here. This is pretty quick.
And she's going to talk to you a little bit about the safety of our skating equipment. Thank you. All right, I want to start off by asking a very important question. Okay, on the skate. How much do you think a polar bear weighs? Enough to break the ice? It's a second little bigger. That's okay. I'm not even joking. I'm going to talk to you a lot about skates and how to make sure you're correctly as well as how to take care of
So that was just a short clip, but that's all the video footage I took. And, you know, I didn't have time to email myself and get this picture of me with Danny O'Shea, but I was so happy to get a picture with him here. Yeah, he was wearing a boot on, I'm pretty sure it's his right foot. There he is. He was very kind and gracious to all people who went up to him and asked for pictures and stuff. So, um, so exciting to see him just suddenly be at that clinic. And he is the past national figure skating champion with Ellie Tam. And it turned out he has a fracture to one of his feet, so he needs to have surgery soon. So it makes it even more incredible and impressive. He was still able to compete at such a high level a couple of days ago. Yeah. So okay, so getting back to this clinic, I'm gonna wind it up soon. But okay, so they had the speakers. One thing that I thought was cool was that Alex Shibutani and Maya got to talk a tiny bit more about what they've actually been doing. And they said they have actually been very busy in the Philippines teaching ice dancing. So they are just so excited to be able to go out there and work and teach people about ice dancing, which is not as popular in general, much less in a country like the Philippines. So they're hoping that someday they can help, foster some sort of future ice dancing championship team from the Philippines. So that's really exciting because I had been wondering, like, where have the Shibutanis been? For a while there, I guess it's been for a decade. They used to have a very active YouTube channel called, was it called the Sibs or something like that? I love their YouTube channel where they made these really professionally edited videos of their trips to Japan and all the excitement of being on different ice skating show tours, especially in Japan, like for the ice. And it was just really great because as super skating fans, we want to know, what's going on behind the scenes and what's going on with our favorite skaters. So the Shibs YouTube channel used to bring that to their skating fans, but I feel like they probably haven't been doing anything on their channel for years. Okay, so then of course, what happened? Yeah, then they said, now we have someone special who's going to come talk to us. And I was like, who else could that be? Wouldn't that have been like someone like Alyssa? Oh, so then they announced Vincent Joe. And then suddenly there was a big pause. And someone said, oh, Vincent has already left the building. So I was like, that's a real bummer because I was hoping to see Vincent too. Vincent is a former world bronze medalist. He was like one of the few guys who could routinely do a quad Lutz triple toe. He's at Brown University now, and he was featured very prominently on the posters and publicity for this. So I just found it really weird that he didn't even stay for the second half of this event. So that was kind of a bummer and strange. So I don't know what happened. Hopefully he didn't feel sick or some bad emergency could have happened or something. So then this big guest that they announced, it turned out to be Vera Wang. So to me, I'm more excited about hearing from Alyssa Liu or Nathan Chen than Vera Wang. She's not like a star figure skater. She's a fashion designer who made skating dresses for Nancy Kerrigan and Michelle Kwan and Nathan Chen. But who am I to be ragging on her? She's very successful in her own right, and true figure skating fans know who Vera Wang is. So Vera Wang just said a few words, and she did say that she felt like she was totally out of place because, all she did in skating was, some slight competitive skating many decades ago when she was a teenager. But she looked great. I mean, I don't know how old she is. She's probably at least in her, could she be at least 70 or more? Yeah, she still, looks so incredibly young and she's very thin. So, I mean, good for her for still being active in the skating community and fashion and looking so lively and being at that clinic. Yeah. But okay, so here's another disappointment of this clinic event thing. I thought that these famous skaters were actually going to be the instructors, but instead, we got some people that to this, well, right now I have no idea the name of that male instructor that my group had, and I'm sorry if I should know his name, but I mean he seemed like a really nice guy, but I thought that Nathan Chen and Christy were going to put on their skates and demonstrate to us and give us tips and stuff, but none of that happened because the skating celebs were then just sent to the back corner of this whole rink. And I guess they were just sitting there the rest of the time, just taking pictures with people and giving autographs, and people could go up there and say hi. I'm sure they got sick and tired of hearing the same words from everyone going up there and gushing, like, oh, I love your skating. I've been a big fan of yours for the last 20 years. I remember when you were a little kid skating, congratulations. I'm so inspired by you, blah, blah, So anyway, yeah. So after a while, I just decided I had had enough of this because my feet were killing me from all the walking I've been doing in Boston, and my toes were frozen. There were just way too many people, too many kids and stuff. I was like, forget it. Why did I bring my skates all the way here? It was a lot to drag these ice skates in a suitcase from North Carolina. So I got off the ice pretty soon, but I still sat around and watched and stuff. And my son and I got into a huge line to try to get autographs with the skating stars. But unfortunately, we didn't get our autographs. So the highlight of my day really was getting that special picture of myself with Danny O'Shea. And he was so nice and kind. And, just the fact that he has a broken foot, but he still came out to this clinic, that's amazing. Like the guy is like a glutton for punishment. Isn't he like 33 years old and he's still doing competitive pair skating? Yeah, so that's me and Danny O'Shea. Thank you for being the highlight of my day at that clinic. Okay, yeah, I'm definitely going to download it. Maybe I'll put it on Instagram or something. Hey, Helen, thank you. Thank you so much for being here. Okay, so I think I'll call it a wrap. I need to take a nap and rest my voice, and then we're going to head back to TD Garden so we can cheer for Ilya and Andrew Torkashev, Jason Brown, Mikhail Shidorov. There's so many skaters there. Junhwan Cha, those are the top people that I can't wait to see. Yeah, thank you. Oh, okay, you broke your bone. Oh, yeah, it can totally slow you down if you break a bone in your foot. Yeah, I've had ankle surgeries twice and bunion surgeries twice too, also. Yeah, okay, thank you guys so much. Take care then. Hope you enjoyed my recap. Sorry about my hoarse voice as usual. Take care. Bye.